who's that cat coming down the street?
I don't know, but it sounds to me like that's just the man with the bone.
Sure having himself a ball.
When can we multiply matrices? So before we can multiply matrices, we need to know when can we multiply matrices. Well, every matrix is represented by a dimension or size. That is m by n, where n is equal to the number of rows and n is equal to the number of columns. Well, let's look at an example. If we pull this matrix up from over here, let's determine its size. We have 2 rows, because remember, rows run horizontal, and we have 4 columns, because columns run vertically. So we can say that this matrix is a 2 by 4. Well, when we get into multiplying matrices, there's a certain order to it. In order to multiply matrices, the columns in the first matrix must be equal to the rows in the second matrix. So if we want to multiply a matrix times this m by n, our second matrix needs to be n by some number n. So here you see that these 2 inside numbers will be the same. That means we can multiply them. So let's look at these 5 matrices up top, or the 5 dimensions up top. Let's see if we can find 2 that we can multiply together. Let's pick matrix B. We need to find another matrix that has the rows equal to 3. And looking at up here, we see that either this one, matrix A, we can multiply by, or matrix D, because its rows are equal to the matrix B's column. So let's pull matrix D down. By pulling it down, we see that the 2 inside numbers are the same, so we can multiply them. Now, we can also determine what size our answer matrix will be. Well, that's determined by the outside numbers, the rows in the first matrix and the columns in the second matrix. So here we have a 2 by 2 answer matrix. Now, let's look at an example. Let's pull a matrix down, matrix B down, and let's pull matrix D down. Here we have a 2 by 3 times a 3 by 2. So now we're going to learn how to multiply them on our calculator.
How do we multiply matrices?
Before we can multiply matrices, we first have to enter them into our calculator. To do that, you go to second matrix, go over to edit, and press enter on A. Now it's prompting us to put our matrix in there, or the size matrix in there. So this is a 2 by 3, so let's press 2 and 3. Press enter. And you see a 2 by 3 matrix comes up. Now let's put its entries in there. 10, 12, 9, 11, 14, and 10. Now that we have matrix A in there, we can put matrix B in the calculator. So go back to the matrix home screen, second matrix, go over to edit, and press enter on B. This matrix was a 3 by 2, so let's put that size in here. 3, 2. Press enter. And now let's put B's entries in there. We have 4, 2, 0, 3, 2, and 6. Let's quit this program and go back to our home screen. Now we can multiply matrix A times matrix B. So go to the matrix button, or matrix screen, press enter on A. This brings the A matrix onto our home screen. Press the multiplication sign, go back to your matrix home screen, Press enter on matrix B, and press enter. And we have our 2 by 2 matrix. The matrix we said we were going to have before.
If you have any questions, please email Mr. Stark at kevin.stark@nccvt.k12.de.us.